Hi, it's Miss Pretzel at the Appleton West Library, and I am going to talk about an author and her three books. Nicola Yoon is the author. Nicola Yoon, we can say she's African American. She would say she's Jamaican American. And her last name is Yoon because she is married to author Daniel Yoon, whose family originally came from Korea. She and he both write YA romance novels, but they are romances that are going to make you like, oh, romances that might make you cry a little bit. And like I said, it was a wonderful weekend rereading the first two books because it's been a little while, and then reading her new book. So everything has been made into a movie. Actually, her first two books have both been made into movies. The character is biracial, half Japanese American, half African American, because Nicola Yoon's daughter is that. I'm blanking on the name all of a sudden again. So Madeline. The main character is Madeline, and the boy next door that changes her life is Oliver, called Ollie. And Madeline's big issue is that she has an autoimmune disease called SCIDS, which means that she can have allergic reaction to almost anything. So she's pretty much lived her entire life in her house, and she doesn't go outside her house. And there's just a lot of stuff that goes with that. I'd love to tell you the whole story of this. It's wonderful, her and Ollie, and there's kind of a twist at the end that if you haven't seen the movie and you haven't read the book, I'm not telling you. Nobody else should tell you because I want you to be surprised. It's just a wonderful book. Like I said, it makes you happy, makes you sad, will make you cry a little bit, cry sad, cry happy. Great book. Her next book, The Sun is Also a Star, really interesting concept because it's nearly the entire book takes place in about 12 hours. So there's Natasha, whose family is from Jamaica, and only her brother was born in the United States. So her family is about to be deported back to Jamaica that evening. So she is spending her day going from place to place trying to find a way to stay in the United States because she doesn't really remember anything about Jamaica, and she doesn't consider herself Jamaican. On her travels throughout New York City, she meets Daniel, who is he is an American citizen, but his parents came from Korea, and his parents have a desire for him to go to Yale and become a doctor, and he's just not that. So, like most of her books, her characters are opposites. Natasha is very science-minded, very, and Daniel's more the dreamer, and he's like, yes, you can fall in love in 12 hours, and she's like, no, you can't. And you'll have to read the book and see. Like I said, was a wonderful read. Like, feel good, but yeah, there are going to be moments where you're like, So, but that's okay. I like books that make me feel things. Good things, and sometimes things. So Instructions for Dancing is her newest book. I believe it came out in August, but thank you, COVID. It's taking longer for us to actually get books in the library. So we got this book shortly after Christmas. Because we got to get it from the company we order from, and then it's got to be cataloged and put in our computers so that you guys can check it out. So Instructions for Dancing is very similar to our other books in that we've got Evie and we've got X for Xavier. But there's a little what I would call magical realism to this. It's definitely a romance, and the magical realism isn't too much. What happens is Evie is she was a believer in romance and everything until her parents got divorced, and she found out her father had cheated on her mom because she thought her parents had the best marriage ever. And so this has really changed her philosophy on things. So she's giving away all her romance books. She goes to one of those little lending libraries where you're supposed to give books and take a book. And as she's leaving, the person says, well, you didn't take a book. So the book she takes is Instructions for Dancing, which is actually a manual for how to dance certain dances. And she finds a label in there. It says return to this dance studio. So she goes there. She meets X. Need I tell the rest of the story? Once again, we have two characters who have very opposite philosophies of life. X is very much live life in the moment, be in the moment, do everything. Because he lost, he had a good friend who died. And so that changed how he viewed life. And once again, her parents' divorce changed how Evie views life. So this one, like I said, there's a little bit of magic to it because what happens is Evie, when she sees couples kissing, and it's not every time she sees a couple kiss, but there's certain things she figures out, like, when does this work? She sees the beginning, the middle, and the end. So she sees like this relationship from beginning to end. And what she comes away with that is that all relationships end. So what's the point? And X is very much like, well, there's, love is the point. So I love Nicola Yoon's books. It was a fabulous, fabulous way to spend my weekend rereading the first two books and reading her newest book, which I wasn't sure could live up to the other two, but I really did truly enjoy this book. So I hope that you will check out one of Nicola Yoon's awesome books. We have multiple copies of this one and this one. So if ours are checked out, we will get them from Interlibrary Loan, or I'll help you find something else to read because it's my job to keep everyone reading. Have a fantastic day.